The problem is not Arteta. He's not the owner of the club. He's not the player. He's the fan. You are delusional. The season just get over. You already talk about next summer, but you mad. You mad. Which earth are you living?
Arsenal, I've seen, are the most profitable club in the Premier League history. And this window, they'll be able to reap the benefits of that. £200 million to spend. So if they don't get a striker, what the hell is your club doing?
Arteta, they've gone out of the Champions League at the semi-final stage. And of course, they didn't do what they hoped they would do. They didn't win the Premier League because Liverpool won it. Is Arteta a manager in a uniquely safe position at one of the top clubs? Would a Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City or Liverpool manager survive this long without silverware?
Where are you, Micah, on the Arsenal progress-ometer? There's been a lot of debate about that this week.
I think the progress is going really well.
Which managers, Dan, need to hit the ground running from the off?
Amorim.
Yeah.
I think the other one, and I really don't think he should be by race. I think he's done a terrific job. If Arsenal start badly, there's going to be some grumbling.
What do you think of the current Arsenal situation of sort of 6 years now, 5-6 years without a trophy, but they're building and they're sort of getting better each time?
That's a tall building now. The building is tall. There's a lot of the building is really tall. That's big.
But I think we're in a situation now where we need a few more deals to go through and start speeding the market up. And I think one of them is you guys deciding on what to, and what do you think you guys are going to do? Because some reports, Plattenberg, Šeško's more advanced. I think Jacobs has said Šeško's more advanced. Fabrizio's more on the side of the Portuguese press where it's all about this Gyökeres deal and he's waiting for Arsenal. I don't know what Ornstein said. I swear he mentioned Šeško weeks ago. Nothing since. Like, as an Arsenal fan, you're obviously closer to that news than I am. What's going on with it, and who do you think you're going to go after?
I just quickly need to ask this. If Liverpool get Isak, has Arsenal let the fans down?
Well, I don't think they will get Isak.
If they do, has Arsenal let the fans down?
How would they have let the fans down?
Because that means this player was available and that's a player that you should be getting for. If you need goals and you say that's the main guy, you lot said, I was watching your show, you've gone from Isak to Gyökeres to Šeško.
You're normally crying into, cups of tea and, everything, but there ain't really been much to talk about for Arsenal, have you? Ain't done nothing.
I'm angry that we haven't even made one signing yet. What are we doing? I'm seeing Man City sign Reindeer, they're signing Turkey, Al-Nouri, Liverpool could be getting Isak and Wirtz and all that. What are we doing?
I think I'm with Jamie. I've seen quotes of Jamie talking about the need to win something. But if a manager takes you from 8th in the league for a couple of seasons and then you get a 5th and then 2 seconds, that is progress. No matter what. And let's not forget, they're up against Man City, one of the best Premier League sides ever.
But not this season.
But yes, and then Liverpool have stepped up. But it's very hard, and ask Gary about this, it's very hard to keep going and going and going again.
With 200 million, it sounds like, it's everything. But if you're already paying 92.5 for Šeško, then you know what I mean? That's half your money gone already. We're also not great at selling as well. We're like United. We're not as good as Chelsea when it comes to selling.
That has just thrown me. 92 million for Šeško. Has he been top goal scorer in the Bundesliga yet?
Not top goal scorer, but
wow.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not blindly having a go at Arteta here, as Jamie, the Arsenal fan, seems to think. Jim, good morning. What is your issue with Arteta? It is totally foolish to just ignore what he has done at Arsenal in his tenure. Yes, trophies are important, but it's people like you, must be me, who refuse to see the progress we're making because you don't want to see it. He's 100% still our man. Jamie, that's me told, isn't it, Simon? But I would like to see it. And I wanted Arsenal to get to that Champions League final. And I would have liked them to have won it in the Allianz Arena in Munich. But now it ain't going to happen. So, Arsenal fans, and that's why I asked it, are you still on the Arteta train? Has this season crystallised your belief in him, or are you beginning to waver?
I think we're going to end up with Šeško. I want Gyökeres. Now, one minute you hear that Šeško's advanced, the next minute you hear that Gyökeres wants Arsenal, then you hear that actually we're not interested in going that big for Gyökeres because we believe it's too expensive for him. Even though Šeško is more expensive, they see the potential, so they're happy to pay for the potential. It's a mess, that's what it is, Tel. It's a mess. And I don't know if we've got our planning correct. I'm a big fan of what Berta's going to bring, but I don't like the fact that we still haven't brought a striker. And I know that sounds really petulant and perhaps spoiled, but it is clear that Arsenal need a centre forward. And if we keep dilly-dallying, we might end up with neither of them.
So I always talk to Writer about it. Look, I'm not going to pretend I'm an Arsenal fan more than him or a guy that was born and raised as an Arsenal fan. But I understand. At the very beginning, you arrive. By the way, we won the Cup 2020. Yeah. 3 years. And Roy can tell you, you also coach. You're in a situation at the beginning where it's not your team. You need at the very least 3 to 4 transfer windows to be able to change everything that you want to change. Get rid of the guys that are on a good contract, that don't want to leave, that maybe don't like the way you play or you don't like the way they play. So it takes time.
In terms of the next step, I think next season now, there's no excuses. When you talk about bringing a striker in, Osimhen's gone to Galatasaray on loan. Why couldn't it come to Arsenal? I just thought there was short up front, and throughout the season, you know, it played evident that they couldn't get it over the line.
Have you let the fans down? Just because you never answer the truth, and I mean, watching the comments.
No, I'm giving you the truth. If they got Isak,
yeah,
right, then yeah, in a way, because it'd be like, how have they then been able to get Isak and we didn't even go for him? Yeah, I would say that.
Fair enough.
But I don't think Isak's going anywhere. Not this season. He's not going to go anywhere. They're in the Champions League. If they would, you know, that last game of the season, if they hadn't made the Champions League, Isak and Gordon, one of those two would have definitely gone. It would have been either Isak, Gordon, or what's the name in the midfield? What's the name again?
Gamara.
We brought in Berta. What's he doing? Is he a fraud? Like, what, seriously?
I agree, mate. What are you doing?
Exactly. And where's Supermendy, by the way? I thought that was a done deal. He ain't even been announced yet. So what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, as football fans,
I need my holiday, mate. I need my holiday badly.
But Chris, the window's not been open long, man. The reason Man City had to do what they were doing, right, and Chelsea done it, is because the club woke up, right?
Liverpool?
Well, Liverpool's the exception to the rule here, but, you know, who have they signed? They haven't signed anyone yet, have they? It's not been announced. They signed Frimpong and they signed Kirkes, right? Yeah. And the other two haven't.
Listen, Bert's is done though, yeah?
I think Kirkes is pretty much, isn't it?
Kirkes is done, yeah.
I wouldn't.
Bert's is done.
No, but Chris, as long as it's done by the end of the window, mate, I wouldn't panic just yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to panic.
You're panicking, Chris. I can hear it in your voice.
Well, I am. Well, yeah, technically I am. But if I see Havertz up front with Trossard on the left against Man United, I'm going to lose my
Good player, Havertz, mate.
I'm going to give you that one.
Oh, yeah, you chill out as well. You chill out.
They've got the capacity to spend, without doubt. That they are a very well-run club. Over the last 2 to 3 seasons, they've also had the benefit of Champions League participation. The Champions League is worth more money than ever before because we've moved to the Swiss model. So you've got 4 guaranteed home games.
Matt and Hove, one of Amorim or Arteta will be gone by Christmas.
I think that's highly likely.
I think it'd be more likely Amorim than Arteta, to be honest.
Amorim's got to start well.
Here's what I feel, Daniel, is I go back to January, right, mate? Arsenal was still in a title race. Just. Not really, but just, yeah. And I think we're still in the Champions League and domestic cups. I'm not sure what you was in.
We're in the Carling Cup, yeah.
You're still in the Carabao Cup at that point, right? So you win 3 trophies, going steady, but a couple of injuries, you know, the ship's rocking and that, yeah? Signed nobody. Right. Okay. You're out to win nothing. I just look at it and think, why on earth did you spend no money in January? It's not like you spent 200 million the summer previously. You spent 70 million quid on Calafiori and Marino. So that the money would have been available. So I remember Arsenal fans telling me that the reason why you didn't sign anybody in January is because you've got all the money lined up and you're going to go and get the players in the summer. So that means the targets were already identified, but you couldn't get them in January for whatever reason that was, right? So why are we here now? And you've still not signed anyone? I know Mendy's like pretty much like done whatever. But why have you not got this? Why have you not got this striker locked off already? Why are you still? Why am I still? Don't even
they're still negotiating, bro. They're still negotiating between the two, Sesko and Gyökeres. 1 minute we're putting in a bid. Apparently we're putting in a bid of 49 million for Gyökeres. That's an absolute insult and disgrace, by the way. As soon as we paid 65 million pound for Havertz, if that's true, of course. Then there's rumours we're going back in with 70 million for Gyökeres. The rumours are that we actually do want Sesko. Arteta's identified Sesko. He's proven to Berta as the way that he wants to play. Sesko will turn into Haaland. By the way, no pressure if we get Sesko, by the way. Because this is what people are telling me, that he's the next Haaland. So I expect 30 goals this season if he comes in, bare minimum, right?
Well, but hang on a minute, right? So If you want the next Haaland's a goal scorer, right? Haaland's job is to put the ball in the back of the net. This is why when people talk about his link-up play, I really could care less. His job is to put the ball in the back of the net. So if you wanted someone to do that, why not go get Gyökeres? Because Gyökeres is clearly demonstrated that he can put the ball in the back of the net.
Because he doesn't fit the profile of what Arteta wants, is what I'm being told.
So then, hang on a minute. But so who's running the show here? Is it Berta or is it Arteta?
I missed him when he done his hammy, mate.
No, Marino was probably better than him up front.
Yeah. No, if you get to that stage again, mate, you have every right to say what you feel then.
But they keep going on about this Gyökeres, Sesko, Gyökeres.
Yeah.
Just make your mind up. Just make your mind up and go get one of them.
Get both of them.
Do you think they should be
If they
panicking?
had any, you know what, they would.
What's that? To panic, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, if the season starts and they ain't got no one up front again, then that's when you start going, hold on, what's going on?
What's the date today, right? Is it 17th?
It's the 18th.
18th today, right?
Yeah.
So if we get to the 18th of July, right?
Yeah.
So it's another month.
Yeah.
I think then you can start.
It's still not even a new season yet, come on.
Well, the season doesn't start until the 15th of August.
Like, 18th of June, when I was playing, the 18th of June, mate, my phone's off.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm not thinking about football.
No. So once, we get halfway through July, and before the season starts, then I'd have a little bit of a what's going on conversation.
Yeah.
Chris, you gone way too early, matey.
Yeah, but I want them for pre-season as well to gel with the team.
No, I agree with that. You want to get your business done early, but sometimes it ain't that easy.
But there isn't been any whispers or nothing.
Well, there's been quite a lot of talk about Gyökeres.
You just mentioned it.
Yeah, Sesko.
But we haven't made one single bid.
How convinced are you, Gary, that Arsenal under Mikel Arteta are on the right track?
Well, I think it's a great achievement to not win a trophy in 2025 for 5 years and still be the manager of a top club that isn't under pressure from us, from anybody in the football community or even their Arsenal fan base. So I think that's an incredible achievement because we thought those days were gone whereby you could basically have this type of patience being afforded to you.
So you think he should be under pressure?
No, I actually think it's a good thing that for 5 years to not win a trophy, ordinarily there would be a manager under pressure. I think that's significant in the sense that you think that there is progression. I'm glad that on Friday in his press conference he said we've gone backwards in the Premier League because the first thing you have to do after the midweek, they tickled our backs a little bit for last month with the Champions League and it sort of took the heat off them a little bit in how bad they've been in the league, being 13, 14 points off Liverpool. So 13, 14 points from where they were last season and the season before. But they've left themselves woefully short up top and they still haven't got a player in midfield from deep who can receive the ball on the back foot, and Zubimendi we think may come to Arsenal. They've got to deal with that. Partey's not great at it. Declan Rice was proven in the first leg against PSG. He's not great at it. He's better going forward. So those two key positions, they need two forwards and they need another midfield player. But the forward part of it, they've signed one striker in 7 seasons as a football club. I know I've been arguing this all season. It's ridiculous that they've left Mikel Arteta, or Mikel Arteta has left himself, so short. They spent £750 million and signed one striker in that time, and that is not good enough.
And the calls are coming in 03717 223344. I think we know you, Keith. Keith, good morning. Big Arsenal fan. How are you?
I'm well. You know, it's only football at the end of the day, and but look, of course I'm disappointed that we didn't make it through. But look, I'm on board with Arteta. The progress has been, exactly as we would have hoped. And look, last season I think we quarterfinals or round 16 of the Champions League. This season semi-finals, very close. So it's progress. But yeah, we do have to get over that line. And the only question mark I have, and like I said, I normally agree with you, Simon, as you know,
So I think we do want Sesko, and I think Gyökeres would be interested in Arsenal. I just don't know that we're actually set on Gyökeres, and it sounds like we're playing it that we want Sesko. But if it doesn't happen because Leipzig are asking for too much, then Gyökeres might be the guy that we go for. Sporting Lisbon, from what we understand, have said, no, we ain't got no gentleman's agreement. That was Hugo Viana who had that agreement. He's gone to Man City. We don't care about him now. We care about getting as much as we can for Victor Gyökeres. And he's going to be 70, 80 million euros, and he's going to want 250 a week. Go and get him then. We paid 65 M's and 290 for Havertz. Why are we trying to scrimp and save for a better striker who's who's proven to be a bagsman in Europe? Then you've got Sesko, who wants less money a week, but is going to be more money than Gyökeres is, because he's going to be near 80 million euros. For me, we've got to go and get someone who's going to be bagging in goals. And what I don't understand, I know what your thoughts are on this, LB, right? A lot of Arsenal fans, yeah, but Sesko's the better fit. Shut up, man. What does that even mean? The guy's got 13 goals in the Bundesliga. Victor Gyökeres has scored over 50 in the last 2 years for his club. But because the opposition in the Portuguese league is seen as like that comparisons of League One teams and Championship teams, it don't count. Name me another Portuguese striker in that league that's scoring over 50 goals. You can't. Sesko scored less goals than Marmoush. He scored less goals than Patrick Schick. He scored less goals than players that I've not even heard of in that Bundesliga, by the way. But because he might be good in a few years, we're all getting excited about him.
So, do you need a striker or do you need a goal scorer?
That's been brought up the other day, by the way.
Was it? Someone beat me to it, man.
Someone beat me to it.
So actually, that guy is actually wrong. Arsenal are not looking for a goal scorer. You're looking for a striker.
I don't know what we're looking for, mate. We're looking for everything, it seems. Look, I don't know what your thoughts are, man, but we need Gyökeres or... The only ones that would excite me, right, are Gyökeres, Osimhen, Julian Alvarez. They're the three, and Isak, obviously. They're the only four that I'm looking at going, yeah, fair play. I don't particularly want Ekitike. I don't particularly want Sesko. I don't particularly want any of the other Premier League strikers like João Pedro and Watkins and Mateta and all these guys. I want one of those four names that I've just said. They're the only four that make Liverpool and Manchester City go, seriously? Wow, didn't want Arsenal to sign him.
Whether we finished 8th, we were not great. You have to give a manager time to be able to implement what he wants to do. So 3 years. Now, the last 3 years, we've been in a situation also where we should at least bring a cup, whatever it is, or a final. Man United played 5 finals in the last 5 years.
Things, but first of all, I never thought we would win the league this season. Yeah, I understand your idea that this is a natural progression, but when you look at the recruitment, Arsenal have been crying out for a proper striker for the last 2-3 years. I said at the start of the season we would not challenge for the league, but we would have a better chance in the Champions League because our defence.
I remember that, Keith. I remember you saying that. To be fair,
I'm not making a case for or against your argument, but they scored 92 goals in the calendar year last year without the argument that rages, and I think you're right. I think most people are right that they do need a centre forward.
That's a red herring, though, Simon. That's a red herring.
It's a fact. 92 goals.
They did score 92 goals, which was exceptional, and I think that's the reason why Arteta probably thought, oh, maybe we can do without signing a striker and maybe wait for another year. But we do need a striker. It's been our Achilles heel last year when we didn't win the league, and it has been this year. But I am on board with Arteta because he's done a very good job in building the side. You cannot win every season. There are only a few trophies up for grabs. But the fact that Arsenal are challenging at the very top, that's all you can ask for, and hope that he gets over the line.
Keith, do you believe that Arteta is a fine margins manager?
Well, of course, look, he's a young manager. It was his first managerial job. I think the key is, and Simon, you obviously alluded to it, has to be the recruitment this summer. We need attacking reinforcements. I think maybe we need some cover on the wing, but we need 1 or 2 strikers, proper people who can get half a chance and shove it away in the net, because that is the difference.
What are they waiting for? What are they waiting for? What, they're waiting for money to go in the bank or something?
I don't know, Chris, but you
know what I mean?
Chris can't help himself.
Yeah, no.
You can't help yourself. Well, you're going to just calm down a minute.
So if you, I mean, it's obvious to everyone when you look at the situation they're in right now about the striker, and I'm sure they'll rectify that in the summer and bring someone in. But were you saying this at the start of the season?
A striker?
Yeah.
I thought they should have brought a striker in. Of course they should have brought a striker.
So,
in March, you said they shouldn't bring a striker in March.
No, there was no transfer.
You said that they shouldn't bring a striker. A striker wasn't the problem.
No. So why did you tip them for the league at the start of the season?
I thought they would step up this year.
You just said they were short of a striker. Of course. You tipped them for the league at the start of the season. So don't now talk because they've had injuries up front. They need a striker. They might need a striker. The point I'm trying to make is, if you tip someone for the league, you can't then say halfway through the season or at the end of the season he should have bought a striker. What was Arteta doing? You tipped them for the title.
Right, on August the 15th,
yes,
the season
you tipped them for the
starts.
title.
There's 3 weeks left of the transfer window.
Oh.
I thought they would also get a striker in January, and they didn't. Who? Oh my God, that's like saying who did Villa got 2. Villa got 2 or 3.
Okay.
Villa got 2 or 3. So Villa got 2 or 3. Are they not allowed to get a striker in January?
Whatever he wants, but who was the name that you said at the
I
time?
thought Arsenal.
You tipped Arsenal for the titles. Don't say now. Mikel Arteta made a mistake about the striker.
Oh my God, Carrot. Last summer, everyone was saying Arsenal's fan base had been saying they need a striker.
What were you saying?
And me, I think Arsenal would have won the league this year. I'm hugely disappointed in Arsenal this season not winning the league. I thought they should have been there this season. Nothing to do with Liverpool. Liverpool done absolutely fantastically well. It's not Liverpool's problem, but Arsenal should be closer to them, and they've gone backwards. And they should have added a striker last year in the transfer window, and they didn't do it. I've been saying that for 2 years, 3 years, Carrot. So it's not a case of just saying it now. They should have got a striker in their squad.
Michael, do you think second place is significant for Arsenal? Because that might not happen. That's not a guarantee.
Yeah, they can't let the season fizzle out, of course. You want to finish as high up the table as possible. I think Gary's got a point. I think Arsenal are thinking after the 2 previous seasons that they're going to win it this year. Liverpool have gone on
84
and done
points,
that.
89 points, now this big drop-off.
But every season is different, you know. When we won the league in 2000, we thought next year we'd win it again. We thought that was that, and we didn't. It took us, another year after that to win the league again. Sometimes that just happens, but I think the wider point on a striker, Arsenal need a striker. And you don't have to be Jamie Carragher Monday Night Football to realise that.
1 in 7 years.
And you're still back for the title.
So what?
you thought they were the best team in the country. The start team, they're going to win the league.
I thought Manchester City would drop off, and I thought Arsenal would repeat what they did last year, was get the points. They haven't done. They're 13 points off it.
Well, I hope you enjoy your afternoon, Gary, and you come back at the end for a longer conversation on Arsenal, but that might be where the day takes us, who knows, here on Super Sunday this afternoon.
Right, Supermendy, Sesko, Nico Williams, albeit that's called off of interest now. Looks like we've brought in Kepa, who's a goalkeeper that has been recognised as a good backup. Anything that Andrea Berta does, I'm judging that aren't those names. Because if we bring in Zubimendi, I'm not hailing Berta because we've bloody done that 12 months ago. That was the guy we wanted ages ago. If we get in Sesko, that's the guy we should have got last summer, but had a gentleman's agreement to come back in the previous summer, or the following summer, should I say. So, look, if Berta goes and gets us Rodrigo and we go and get Morgan Rogers or an Eze or maybe Baena or somebody like that, I'm going to look and say, blimey, he's working. But I ain't twerking for Berta if we're bringing in Sesko and Zubimendi because that's been identified by Mikel Arteta. So has Berta been brought in to get the players Arteta wants, or has he been brought in to do his job, which is to identify and allow Arteta to do the stuff on the pitch? That's what I still don't know at the moment because it's too early in the window. But we will find out. I think we're going to get Sesko. I don't particularly think that's enough to win us the league, but...
Well, I've got to say, I'll have the same energy for you. In fact, before I say that, what winger are you getting? Because obviously you need a left winger desperately, so what winger are you going to get?
Not Rodrigo.
Do we know who you've been linked with?
He's going to be going to Real Madrid. He's going to stay at Real Madrid, they believe. What winger are we getting? Not Nico Williams, not Rodrigo. At the moment, don't know. There's no one linked with us at the moment.
All right, then. So I'll say the same thing that I said about Chelsea then, right? Because I'll try and be fair, yeah? If you end up with Sesko...
United that everyone loves that. Played 5 finals. In the last 3 years of building that building, you didn't reach a final. So I do understand when people ask the question, surely you should have compete for a trophy, being in the final. This year we didn't compete with Liverpool. I don't know what people think, but we didn't compete, not once.